What's going down, y'all? Welcome back to another video. We are back with some NBA talk, and today we're gonna throw back in time just a little bit, probably to like the late 90s all the way up to now, and we're gonna be talking about those players that weren't necessarily superstars, but y'all know as NBA fans they were super cold, but either their career didn't pan out how we thought it would, they didn't reach their primes got cut short due to injuries, legal issues, drug problems, mental problems, whatever the case may be. Their career didn't really pan out how we thought it would, and they just fell off. So today we're going to be talking about the NBA's Forgotten Savages. Alright, y'all, let's get into the first player. Now, for all my young NBA fans out there, a lot of you guys might not even heard of any of the players that I'm about to mention in this video, but for my 90s babies and all my old heads out there, hopefully this video brings some type of joy and kind of refreshes your memory on all those players that were super cold but kind of got swept under the rug. So, first player, we got to go with Steve Francis, Stevie Franchise, whatever you guys want to call him, the franchise. Steve Francis, man. For my young NBA fans, a comparison you can compare today's player to Steve Francis is kind of like Dennis Smith Jr. A super athletic, super quick point guard, shooting guard, whatever he was back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. Like Steve Francis, man, his game is kind of hard to describe who he plays like because he would dribble the ball so much trying to make his defender look stupid, but once he got in that bag, it was no stopping Steve Francis. He was super athletic, super quick. Like, he kind of had the potential, like if he would have put his mind into the right places, he could have been like MVP Derrick Rose. Like, that's how much of an athlete Steve Francis was. Now, he could shoot the ball a little bit, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't terrible from three, but his game was more like mid-range. Let me just get in this handle bag, or I'm gonna just go to the rim and dunk on your center. So he averaged like 18, 19 points for his career, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. I think his career high for a season was 21 points a game. But as far as that 21 points per game, like the way he was scoring, the flashiness, the ball handling, the athleticism, like that 21 points per game, the way he was scoring, it kind of felt like 28 to 30. And my 90 babies, my old heads, hopefully you guys can relate to me on this. Like, his game is so hard to describe, and he didn't have that superstar point guard feel like today's point guards, the Kyrie Irvings, the Steph Currys, the Westbrooks. And I don't know what he could have changed about his game to really elevate it to that superstar point guard level that we see today, because he was super cold, athletic, quick, could shoot a little bit. So I don't really know where he could have elevated his game to become that superstar point guard that I thought he was going to become. And moving on to the next Forgotten Savage, one of my favorite players in NBA history, probably one of the most underrated players to ever play in the NBA, Lamar Odom. As we talk about Lamar Odom, it's kind of sad to see how his life is after basketball, because a lot of people only know Lamar Odom as being Khloe Kardashian's ex-husband, the crackhead LO, or the dude that almost died at a bunny ranch getting some pussy. And it's kind of sad to see how his life is after basketball, because in his prime, or even in his early years with the Clippers, I would say his prime was probably with LA when he won 2 championships with Kobe, Powell, Bynum, Trevor Ariza. Like, the Laker teams was stacked, and I think that was his prime, but I don't think Kobe and the Lakers would have won 2 rings without LO coming off the bench. I think 2010, 2011, Lamar Odom won 6th Man of the Year. And the only word that I can use to describe Lamar Odom's game was versatile. He's probably, outside of LeBron and Kevin Durant, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's probably one of the most versatile players to ever play the game. Whether it was small forward, power forward, you can move into center, he can switch out, guard point guards. His vision and passing, I think he only averaged like 3 or 4 assists for his career, but I don't think that's a testament to how well he passed the ball, but how well he saw the court. Like, his vision and playmaking was amazing at his height. If you wanted a knockdown shooter, Lamar Odom was a knockdown 3-pointers at time. You wanted a rebounder, I think he averaged like 8, 9, 10 rebounds for his career. Like, when we talk about Lamar Odom, it's kind of sad to see how his career ended up, but I don't want y'all to forget what a savage and how versatile and effective he was coming off the bench, starting at times. Like, Lamar Odom, man, amazing. You know what I'm saying? It just sucks to see like his career really went down the drain after he married Khloe Kardashian. All right, y'all, this next player that I gotta bring up that NBA fans tend to forget about, probably one of the coldest scoring point guards this league has ever seen, and I don't even think we've seen his prime. That's Agent Zero, the hibachi, Gilbert Arenas. Now, when we talk about Gilbert Arenas, I feel like it's only right to bring up his stats, his numbers, and I'm not really big on bringing up stats because when I like to break a player's game down, I like to analyze his game from what I see or what I know. But when it comes to Gilbert Arenas, his numbers are crazy. So his third year in the league, his first year with Washington Wizards, 03-04, he averaged 19.6 points per game. So basically 20 points his third year in the league. Fourth year in the league, 04-05, he averaged 25.5 points per game. His fourth year in the league, averaging 25. Now this next year, 05-06, this is probably prime Gilbert Arenas, but this is prime Gilbert Arenas before prime Gilbert Arenas, because these next 2 years, 05 through 07, that was the best Gilbert Arenas we ever seen. So 05-06, he averaged 29.5 points per game. So basically 30 points per game in 05-06. 06-07, another 28.5 points per game, 29 points per game. So we talk about Kyrie Irving, Steph Curry as being those premier scoring guards in NBA history, but I don't think they can really fuck with Gilbert Arenas scoring, because Gilbert Arenas had the handle of a Kyrie Irving, not to that level, but it was on that level, you know what I'm saying? But he kind of had the shooting of a Steph Curry. Obviously not, because Steph Curry is the best shooter ever, but he was a mix between Kyrie and Steph Curry, and I don't think y'all can tell me otherwise, because I didn't see this man shoot 5 feet behind the line on game winners, turn around before the ball goes in with his hands up in the air, staring at the camera. After the buzzer goes off, he takes off his jersey, places it on the court, and goes into the locker room. We talking about forgotten savages. I don't think there was a bigger savage in the NBA than Gilbert Arenas in his prime. Now, I keep saying that we never seen his prime because when he was averaging 30, 25, 29, he was only like 23, 24, 25 tops. So when a player in the NBA reaches their prime, it's probably like 28, 29, 30. When he was averaging 30, 29, 25, he was only 23 years old. So could you imagine in prime Gilbert Arenas at the age of 30 without injuries, without legal problems? And that was probably Gilbert Arenas' biggest issue, is he couldn't stay focused on being an all-star, superstar. Like, Gilbert Arenas never took the NBA super serious, but if he did, oh God. And moving on to the last and final forgotten savage of this video. I know I didn't mention a lot of players, I know, but I'm saving some players because I want to make multiple videos to this series. And if I threw too many players into this video, I wouldn't have enough players for the multiple videos to come. So I don't want y'all to stress about players I didn't forget, because I got a whole list of them. So be on the lookout for our upcoming videos pertaining to this series. But the last and final forgotten savage of this video, it kind of hurts my heart to say this, but Deron Williams, I'm sorry. Now, as I just mentioned Deron Williams' name, I know there's a lot of you guys out there that just cracked a smile, because in his prime with the Utah Jazz, even 2 years with the Nets, like, his prime was amazing. Top echelon, top elite point guard in the league. Like, put in perspective how good Deron Williams was. His prime was the same prime as Steve Nash and Chris Paul, but Deron Williams was probably neck and neck with Chris Paul and Steve Nash, battling for the top point guard in the league at that time. So that kind of puts in perspective how good he was as a point guard. And his prime really started the second year in the NBA. So his second year in the league, 2006, 2007, he averaged 16 points and 9.5 assists for a season. So 16 and basically 10. His third year in the league, 18 and 10. Fourth year, 19 and 10, 18 and 10, 20 and 10, 21 and 10, 15 and 13. Like, his assist game along with the scoring game made him an absolute dog. Not only his passing and his scoring, like, his body type, he could really guard shooting guards and small forwards. He was probably like 6'5", 6'4", probably 215, 220, and dude was so cold. And as I talk about Deron Williams, I kind of have this frustration in my voice, because as a Cavs fan, you guys know I'm a Cavs fan, his last year in the league, When we received Deron Williams from the Dallas Mavericks as a free agent, I was really excited. I thought, like, if we had 70% of the player that he was in Utah or with the Nets, like, we were picking up a solid backup point guard behind Kyrie Irving. But as the season went on and the finals came around, like, we went from Deron Williams being a top echelon point guard we wanted to see every night to, nigga, if you don't sit your ass down. Like, it's safe to say Deron Williams last year in the finals was the worst point guard I had ever seen. I don't know if it's because I'm a Cavs fan and we were losing in the finals and he was just playing terrible, but Jose Calderon right now this year had the same exact role that Deron Williams had last year, and he's thriving. And that nigga's damn near 60. But let me chill. I don't want my frustration to overlook his prime and how cold he was as a point guard. In his prime, I really do miss that era of point guards, like a prime Chris Paul, a prime Steve Nash, or a prime Deron Williams. Like, I don't think it gets better than that at the point guard position. But the crazy thing about Deron Williams is, like, he averaged 10 plus assists for like 7 straight years. But when I think of Deron Williams, I don't think of him as a playmaking superstar that he was. I really think of that double cross, the hezzy, the behind the backs, the step back. Like, his step back was probably the smoothest step back in NBA history. Like, when he got in that bag, that double crossover, getting to the lane, dunking, he could finish with the best of them, has stupid bounce, can shoot the hell out of the ball. Man, he was so amazing. A 3-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA, 2-time Olympic gold medalist with Team USA. Like, dude was really something special. It's just crazy how far he fell off. Like, he was up here, like, 1B, 1A with Chris Paul, and then he fell with the ranks of Jose Calderon. But like I said, I do not want to sit here and disrespect Deron Williams in his prime. So to close out this video, I have a tough question that I really want you guys to interact with down in the comments. So if you guys are familiar with Deron Williams in his prime, you're a GM of the NBA, you're starting a brand new team, and you get to choose one point guard. You have 3 options. You taking Deron Williams in his prime, you taking Steph Curry in his prime, or you taking Chris Paul in his prime. So just to simple it down, dumb it down a little bit more, you're starting a team, you have a choice of 3 point guards to choose from. Deron Williams in his prime, Steph Curry in his prime, or Chris Paul in his prime. So let me know down in the comments who you're choosing to start your team out of those 3 choices. Other than that, hopefully you guys did enjoy. I will make a part 2, part 3, maybe a part 4 to this series. Let me know if you guys did enjoy. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.